summer?
Good. I think they're coming off spring, and now we call this the transformational phase where they're running, lifting, changing their bodies, and but so far everything's been really good. They had a great first session of summer, and now after July 4th, kind of second summer, then kind of ramping up into fall camp. But just kind of really pleased with they are body weight wise. They all came back in shape after the 4th of July, so that's something that excited. And got some competitions at some spots, which is good, and got some guys that are coming back off of injuries, which is good. Some older guys that have played and are back off injury, so good to have those guys back and just being leaders. There's some player-only practices where we can't be out there, but it's good to have some experience to help out those younger guys.
What number do you want to get at?
15. I want. That's what I want. But we have a lot of guys that have played. So I'd say, comfortably 7 or 8 guys I feel like comfortable putting in the game, and guys that have had some experience. So that's a good thing.
You anticipate a pretty good competition.
Absolutely. Ryan Linthicum left the spring as the starter, but having getting Walker Parks back in fall camp will free up Harris and Trent to both kind of push there. I'd say Harris is trying to push for that spot, but I think competition will make them both better. And then anytime you're going into a first game like we are, I think practicing against the defense that we practice against really helps you and gives you confidence going in, knowing, hey, okay, if we can go out there in the scrimmage and hold up, we can really have real confidence, not fake confidence, but real confidence going into that first game.
Can you give us an update on Walker and just sort of his road? It's been quite a...
Yeah, and that one's tough on me because I didn't get to coach him in the bowl game, and then he didn't. He was out there a little bit in endo, but not anything in the team reps. But his weight is back. He's back over 300 pounds. He looks really good. He's able to do all the running, and he's been full speed in all the weightlifting. So I think just having his experience and his toughness, but even when he wasn't in there, he was back behind me coaching and talking to the younger players, and just being around having a guy like that and his mentality and his toughness really helps. So having him back out there for fall camp will be it'll be good, but we'll actually see where we are probably 7 or 8 practices in.
We talked a lot last season about Coach Riley coming in as his first season as offensive coordinator,
right,
and the whole offense having to learn a new system.
Yeah.
Just the language and everything.
That's right.
With that, for a coach like you, though, position coach, what's that like for you?
Yeah, it's semantics. It's learning the language because all of these schemes, at one point or another, I've run before. It's learning the terminology and the best way to get it across. Learning the personalities of your players. You can't treat every player the same. You have to learn what makes each one of those guys tick, and figure out how to press that button and motivate those guys. So I think it's more about learning the personalities of the players and then learning the language and being able to articulate that. Awesome. I think one of the best decisions was coming in that bowl game, because the best way to get to know somebody is to get thrown in a tough situation, to get thrown into the fire, have to coach them, have to be in there making adjustments. That's how you get to know people. And I think having that really helped going into the spring, because you already had a little bit of a base as opposed to just coming in right before the spring. So I think the bowl game was tough just because you're learning on the fly. You had really a week to get ready to go. But I do think it paid dividends in the spring, having already built a base of a relationship with the guys.
Last year they did some mixing and matching on the left side with Tristan and Colin.
Yep.
How long did it take, I guess, during the spring before it solidified in your mind, okay, Tristan's my guy, tackle and Colin?
Yeah, I think Colin is unique because he's such a good athlete. He is probably the best athlete of everybody on the line. He can do so many different things. Probably besides center, he can play every position. So it gives me some flexibility to play him in a lot of different spots. He started guard in the bowl game, but he's also a good enough athlete to go out there and play games on the edge at tackle. So, injuries are a part of the game, and they're going to happen. So to have guys that can play multiple positions, I think is critical.
I guess in the spring, the guys were talking about your Walt Disney quote, like no chimping and
Yeah.
versus jump.
Yeah.
I guess, where did you learn that, and kind of like how do you reinforce that?
Yeah, so David Cutcliffe told me that story a long, long time ago, and it was just always a vivid picture to me about everybody doing their part. And if you don't have any chip paint, everybody's playing hard. All the horses are jumping. Like, to me, it's a very vivid picture of what it's supposed to look like. And I want to have an offensive line when they walk out there and everybody watches us play, that they're finishing the way they're supposed to finish, that they're playing a certain way. This game's meant to be played a certain way, and I want to see our guys doing that. And because to finish a play requires zero effort. To go out there and play as hard as you can and say, man, the Clemson O-line plays hard. Like, that requires zero effort. And that's what I want our guys to play that way, because I think you can ignite the whole sideline. You can ignite the whole stadium. You know, when the pile kind of is stopped and all the O-line comes and pushes the pile, and then everybody starts cheering. That to me is what it's all about. That's what playing offensive line is about.
I guess, how much did you yourself, even though you didn't coach last season, the whole season, go back and watch all the games from last year?
Yeah.
And what
I had to do that to try to learn the offense.
Yeah.
So,
and what were some of the things you noticed from the offensive line that you feel like are points that really have to improve and take another step?
Well, I didn't really. I was watching it to learn the offense. I was using the spring to try to mold and create confidence and a little bit of a swagger and an edge that you have to play at this level. And so that was my biggest, is to instill confidence in these guys. Say, look, you're going against a defense that's really, really good. And if you can do this against them, you can do this against anybody. So that was really my main mindset, was creating a standard of effort and toughness, and then creating that confidence to say, okay, hey, we can do this. Let's go do it. And so that was really my mindset coming into the spring.
Matt, you kind of parachuted in here in early December and were thrown into what's going on. Now, these few months, do you feel like, hey, I'm back to I like doing this part of things. Because the head coach situation is completely different.
Correct.
Right? Have you gotten yourself back in mode of, like, I like this part, and this is what
that's why I'm here, because I do like this part. I love the relationships. I love building. I love being in that O-line room with the relationships and just the building, and help taking a young man to where he doesn't even think he could go. Like, that's the part I enjoy. I enjoy the locker room. Yesterday was the first day back in the office, the camaraderie with the staff. That's the part that I really miss, and that's the part that you love. That's what college football is, and just to be part of this Clemson culture. Like, everybody talks about it. They have all these key words and phrases about Clemson and their culture, but it's real, and it's fun to be a part of.
Coach, a friend of a friend from Mississippi told me that,
what?
They couldn't believe that you took this job. They went back to the coach and said, no way, you'll go back to coaching.
Right.
Can you just take us back to that time when Coach Sweeney, what started that itch for you, and when Coach Sweeney contacted you, like, what went into that?
Yeah, I mean, just being out. I think you get a couple calls and you're like, no, I don't want to do this, no. But there was something when Dabo called me, there was a pause, and I was like, you know what? If I'm going to do it, that's the place I want to do it. And I'm excited. I enjoy being a part of this culture, and I just really want to help get this thing going, back, because they've been really good. And I think people paint the narrative, they haven't. They've been really, really good. There's been a long, sustained period of success. But I just want to kind of come in and try to provide maybe that little 1% that can help get them, a little bit better.
Who are some of the younger guys that people might not be talking about right now that have stood out and could factor in for playing time?
Yeah, so I think people, Colin and Harris are both really young, but they got thrust into some playing time because of injury. So I think those guys having that experience will help. But some of the freshmen coming in, like, people haven't talked about Dietrich Pennington and Ian Reed. Like that, those guys, I think, will have a chance to compete for some playing time. And then Watson Young was coming off a knee injury. He's had a great summer. He looks great right now. He's running, so he'll be full speed when it comes. Mason Wade, he had a good spring. Then Elijah Thurman is like 315 pounds right now, and he looks great. Super athlete. Saw him dunk a basketball. I was like, yep, we need to take that guy. So just a super athlete. So I think some of those young guys, those are just to name a few.
Did you see Pennington making some progress?
Yeah, I think Dietrich just getting his body weight right and getting to where he can play hard all the time. I don't think the athleticism. He's like 300 and 40-something pounds at 24% body fat. So he's really a specimen, but just trying to get his body to a point where he can play hard for a sustained period of time. And I think he could really help us if he does that.
You might have been asked this already. How's Parks doing in his recovery?
Yeah, he's doing good. That one's a tough one for me just because I didn't get him in the bowl game or spring practice. But right now he looks as good as he's looked since I've been here. He's full speed running, full speed in the weight room. So like I told somebody earlier that probably 5 or 6 practices in to fall camp you'll really know a lot more.
Familiar week 1 opponent.
Yeah.
What's it going to be like playing Georgia again? How's your relationship with Kirby and all those guys?
Relationship is good. It's just obviously it's about the players on the field against a really, really good opponent. I think the positive is I think the motivation to prepare all summer when you know you have an opponent like that I think is good. So it helps you prepare with that edge, and you know what it's going to take. And I think playing an opponent like that, you find out a lot about your football team early, and how it's going to look.
Garrett was talking about
Your coaching style. Let's say somebody that isn't too familiar. How would you describe your coaching style mixed with your personality?
Yeah, I'm a people person. I enjoy that part, but I would say passion, energy. That's to me. I can't ask those guys to bring it unless I bring it. So hopefully, when people see me on the field, they see energy, they see enthusiasm, they see somebody that loves coaching and loves being around the guys.
How much do you think that Clemson culture before and how
Yeah.
there's a lot of phrases.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What is the phrase that might have resonated with you the most that you think is most true?
I would say real. I would say that from the outside looking in, you're like, man, is that really real? Can they really do that? And being here, I would say 100% real and authentic, and not being scared to do it the way that you've done it, and to have that sustained period of success. Like, it's unbelievable what Dabo has accomplished, and I'm excited to be a part of it and trying to get it back to where we all want it to be.